This crime case is so disturbing that it would shock the whole town of Underwood, Minnesota. A normal-looking happy family on the outside, but inside the home they were holding a family secret that would lead to a murder. Come join me, Holly, in the Murder She Shed, the place we honor the dead, right from my little she shed. Warning, this video does involve harm and abuse to a minor, so viewer discretion is advised. After John Rairdon divorced his wife Linda because of her drug addiction, he took their 5 children and moved to a little town called Underwood, Minnesota. Underwood is small and it's just over 300 residents, a place you can feel safe because locals always come together to help each other out. This area is known for its dairy farms and fields of sweet corn. Minnesota is also known as a land of 10,000 lakes. This seemed like a perfect area for John to start a new life with his family. He loved to fish, so he often would take his kids fishing and swimming at the lake. John had 4 boys and only one girl named Sarah Rairdon. Because she was his only girl, he doted on her. In 1975, he married Marilyn, who had 4 children from a previous marriage. Together, they had 2 more children. I think I would die if I had 11 children. Maybe some of you would be okay, but not me. Nope, little much. The Rairdon's yard, covered with toys and old cars, bird feeders, a picnic table, a barbecue grill, and with puppies and chickens running about, gives evidence of the large active family that lives there. On the outside, it seemed like a happy family, but inside, secrets were brewing. Ha 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 ha. Yes, I had to go there. It didn't take long for John's new wife, Marilyn, to become jealous of John and Sarah's father and daughter bond. Sarah had only been 3 when her dad had married Marilyn, but Marilyn often was tough on her, and social services was at least called once when Sarah told a neighbor that Marilyn had physically abused her. Jeff, Marilyn's oldest son, did not care for Sarah either. He was 3 years older than Sarah. Jeff had dropped out of school at 16, but Sarah, she took her education seriously and was even an honor student. She also was on the speech team, participated in track, and also played on the basketball team. Just an all-around girl whom people said was fun-loving and easygoing. In 1985, Sarah was in 7th grade and now 13 years old. And as with all teens, began to become very independent. 13, that's the age where, they know everything basically. On May 20th, Sarah and some of her friends stayed after school to get a project done. She then borrowed some change from the janitor and just walked over to the local gas station in order to buy some balloons. And it was for a water balloon fight that they were going to have the next day, her and some of her friends, as a celebration for school letting out for summer in just a few days. Then Sarah walked back to school to wait for her dad to pick her up. Sarah's home ec teacher happened to be leaving at that same time and just asked her if she needed a ride, which Sarah declined, thinking her dad would show up any second now. After she waited for a while, she began walking home. She'd give up. It was only 4 miles and a beautiful sunny day, so she figured it was just a good day for a walk. Sarah would never make it home. John was employed as a farm tractor repairman, and he was fixing a tractor tire in a field 1.5 miles south of Underwood until 6:30 p.m., or perhaps later. John checked out at his place of work approximately 20 minutes away from the field at about 7:30 p.m. John called home and let Marilyn know that he was headed home now from work, and that is when she informed him that Sarah had never came home from school. When John got home around 8, he decided to stay home and wait to see if she would call or maybe show up at the house while Marilyn and Jeff went out searching for her. When Marilyn got back and Sarah still hadn't been located, they decided to call authorities. She wasn't the type just to go missing without letting her parents know exactly where she would be. So authorities immediately started searching. A quiet, peaceful community was suddenly struck by shock as one of its own was possibly kidnapped, living in fear that any of their children might be next. They joined together to help find Sarah. A fundraiser was started and they were able to raise $6,000 for reward money really quickly. The community began to prepare and bring meals to the family in order to ease their burdens. They made posters and hung them everywhere. This was during the time where children were put on the milk cartons in the 80s. She was not put on a milk carton, but she was put on a Pepsi bottle. The news was that widespread about Sarah. Part of the reason it was so widespread is because Sarah's dad was so active in trying to find her. John led everyone on the search for his daughter without having any luck. John and his wife pled for her return on the news. John said, "Spare her from any harm. Please let her go." John even joined the Attorney General in becoming a spokesman for missing children. A resident came forward to authorities and told them at the time and day Sarah had went missing, he had seen a green four-door 1972 Impala making a U-turn and acting fishy on the same road that Sarah had went missing on. Authorities finally found the owner of the green Impala, and they were able to get a search warrant for his house. When they entered the house, girls were hanging on the walls. I don't mean actual girls were hanging on the walls. I mean like pictures of girls. That just sounded really weird the way I said that. Just girls hanging on the wall. No, I'm sorry about that. Pictures of girls were hanging on the wall. Let's get that straight first before we keep going. And he also had a serial killer starter kit. But a search of the man in the green Impala credit card records indicated he was pumping gas in another state that night. The eyewitness, in fact, had blended memories from 2 different nights. So he was innocent of that at least, but Lord, I don't know what he was actually up to. Who knows if the guy was up to some fishy stuff. Sounds kind of like it. 7 weeks after Sarah went missing, a farmer who went out to water his cows one day noticed an area in his field where the grass was growing tall, and his cattle just seemed to be avoiding that area. And he also noticed the smell of something rotting and thought, well, I should go check that out. Good idea. As he got closer, he realized it was the body of a girl with no pants or underwear on, but she was wearing a shirt with teddy bears on it. Teddy bears, guys. That is so horribly sad, the innocence of that. For her to be wearing teddy bears on her shirt broke my heart. Oh my gosh. So he immediately called authorities. The body was mostly decomposed, although a circular hole in the leathered skin of the abdomen was visible, as was a small hole in the front of Sarah's shirt. Just when leads were dwindling on the day of summer break, the principal at Sarah's school found a notebook in Sarah's locker. In it, Sarah had wrote, "Please don't kill me. I want to live." It described how unhappy her home life was, and so investigators decided they needed to question Sarah's family again. This time, when they were questioning the family, they noticed the stepbrother Jeff seemed a bit nervous and acted really strange. Jeff finally admitted he had attempted to persuade Sarah to have sex with him. I'm going to bleep the next few words out, sex and rape. So that's what I'm saying when it is bleeped. YouTube, you know how it is. Jeff finally admitted that he attempted to persuade Sarah to have sex with him, but he swore that he had nothing to do with her death. They started to believe that Jeff was lying until they began talking to 2 of Sarah's stepsisters. And what they said would shock authorities, but also lead them straight to their killer. One of the sisters admitted to walking in on John having sex with his own daughter. Yes, incest. Whatever you want to call it. Intrafamiliar relationships. Or just call it what it is. Pure and simple. Of his daughter. John had fooled the whole town into thinking what a caring dad he was. And all the nation. All the time he was raping his own biological daughter. He's out searching for her. He's acting like he's caring so much. He's going on TV making this big spiel about how no one should do that to a child. And here he is all along doing this to his own daughter. disturbing. After 5 days of interviewing John, he finally broke down. He initially admitted to the abuse but denied killing Sarah. He said, well, we only had one time. And then he would say maybe 5 times or 10. And the number continued to grow until they found out he had been her since she was 7 years old. He finally admitted 2 months before her death. Sarah had told him that she did not want to have sex with him anymore. You know, what I was telling you about the independence, which in this case is really good. Well, until it ended her life, it could have been good. She was trying to grow and be her own person. She said she didn't want to be that little girl anymore. She wanted to be her own person, and she didn't like what he was doing to her. So sad. Their relation ceased despite John's continued advances. On May 19, 1985, John again attempted to convince Sarah to have with him, but she refused. This infuriated John, so then he drove by and seen her walking home on his way to fix the farmer's tractor tire. He decided to pull over and pick her up and take her to an abandoned farmhouse. That was a place he often took Sarah when he abused her. Sarah again refused him and began to run. John grabbed a tire awl, which is a tool John had used to fix tires at his job. It looks similar to an ice pick. Here's a picture. He began to chase her, caught up with Sarah, and then grabbed her by the throat, reached around and stabbed her in the stomach with the awl, and then shoved her onto the ground. He then watched as his own flesh and blood bled out on the ground. After that, he grabbed her feet and dragged her body inside the old farmhouse and then just headed to work to punch out and then home to his family and sat in the house while his family went out hunting for Sarah. So after his family went out hunting for Sarah, he left, drove back out to the farmhouse and then threw his daughter in a ditch. And that's where the farmer would find her after the rains had washed her up into the field 6 weeks later. During trial, he would say he had been coerced by authorities to say that he had killed Sarah. When that didn't work, he then claimed to have no memory of that time, so he was not sure what had happened to Sarah. John was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison because the jury did not believe him. Imagine that. He has since been denied parole 4 times. Not long after John's trial, Marilyn, who had been playing completely innocent, was indicted for knowingly permitting child abuse, but she only received a misdemeanor charge. The prosecutor at John's trial would later say, there's one piece of evidence he wished he had submitted at the trial, a Bible belonging to Sarah. The Bible was found in the vehicle that John had been moving her body to a different location, and 2 drops of blood had fallen on a passage that read, honor thy father and thy mother. It was left unclear about the reasoning for this, but it seems to me he might have shown this to Sarah knowing she was religious in order to try to convince her to obey him, which is totally sickening if this is the case, but I wouldn't doubt it because he is sickening. Marilyn passed away in 2019. I did not see where John had died or not, so I'm assuming he's still locked away in his prison cell. It is horrible when a stranger abducts, abuses, and murders a child, but a father to do this? The man that is supposed to be your protector. This to me would make you the most horrible individual on the face of the earth. It's just disgusting. My personal feeling is everyone should love everybody, no matter their beliefs, but there's absolutely some individuals like pedophiles that there is no way I could even like or be in the same room with. I was abused around 7 years of age by a neighbor's son. It is unacceptable, unexcusable, and just plain disgusting for an adult to do this to an innocent child. I don't care if a pedophile uses the excuse of it happening to them as a child. It should make you not want to put a child through the same things you were put through. Sorry, rant, I know. Sorry for all that, but the whole thing just disgusts me. And that's how I feel. But you weren't here for my feelings, so let's move on. And I'll leave you with some bloopers as usual. And also on the bloopers, some of them are from last night because, Lord, I was crazy last night. I don't know what happened. Anyway, I had to record again because I just kept stopping and rattling on, and I don't know if I forgot to take my ADD medicine, but yeah, well, we'll just go on with that. And you guys have a great week, and I love y'all. Bye. What's wrong with my contact? Jeez. Can't say that. My contact's screwed up. You guys don't know as I wear glasses most of the time. When I film, I put on my contacts. I already look old enough without wearing glasses, so I kind of refuse to wear them. I don't want to look old. It just sucks when you start getting wrinkles. It really sucks. I don't know why I'm getting all sidetracked. Let's just get on with this show. Since it's dark, you might not get Simon on the end of this show. I'm sorry. He's already in bed, and he refuses to come out. And I couldn't film until it got dark because this day has been so crazy busy. John Rairdon divorced his life. He divorced his life. I've wanted to do that a few times. There's my clock again. I'm going to turn it off this time for sure. Y'all just hold on 1 second. Every time I go to film, you start back up. You know what, guys? I've made a whole $2 so far since I got monetized. I'm going to get rich off of this. No, I'm not doing this for the money, really, but it's a nice side benefit. And thank God I'm not doing it for the money because $2 won't buy much anymore. No, I just really enjoy telling you guys stories. I've always liked to tell stories, and now I have an audience. Before, I really just told stories when I played Barbies and told them to my other Barbies as a child. Glad y'all could be my new audience and my new Barbies. Thank you for being there for me. After John Rairdon, bam, I'm there. You ever feel that way? Bam. I'm retarded tonight. I really need, more so than usual, I really need to go to sleep. I must be tired or something. The tighter I am, the crazier I get. Ask my husband. He's like, Jesus, just go to bed. 11 children. That's a lot of children. And in my eyes, too many. Maybe you like children more than me. Not that I don't like children. I raised 2 boys, and I just worked at a daycare for 20 years. So, yeah, that burned me out. Well, I feel like there's like a hair on my face. Is there a hair on my face? I still feel like there's like a hair up here. Am I seeing things? I don't know. I'm losing my ever-loving mind. It'll probably show up on my camera, but I can't see it. I can't see nothing in these contacts. I swear to God, I can't see nothing in contact. I tried. Oh, there it is, I think. The outside, it seemed like a happy family, but inside, secrets were brewing. She also was on the speech team, played in a track, and also played on the basketball team. And obviously, I need on the speech team so I can learn how to talk, because I screwed that one up. I feel like my lipstick's like crooked, like it's higher on one side. Like, maybe I should make it higher on the other. I can't tell which side. Serial killer starter kit. What the heck is that? I was just confused when I read that. You know, I did research this, and I didn't even know a serial killer starter kit existed. I actually Googled it, wondering if a kit actually existed, like put together as something that you had to put together yourself. All I saw was t-shirts that say that wording on them. Well, I'm at least glad you can't buy a kit already put together. My curious mind is going to get me in trouble, though, one day. Now the FBI is going to be after me when they see my Google search history. Yeah, it's a weird thing to search. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for that one. So I have to tell y'all so I have proof that's why I searched it, okay? Y'all are proof. The jury was like, no, you're disgusting. I know that's not what they said, but that's what I feel like they felt down here. They knew that he was disgusting. I gave him enough bloopers to last me a year. I screwed up a billion freaking times. What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys. I don't know the tune. I must have forgot the tune. I never know tunes to songs. That's not something I'm an expert at. I can paint. I can build stuff with wood. I can maybe tell a story if you think so. But I cannot carry a tune, and I cannot sing, even though I try. I certainly try. My husband would tell me to shut up right now, so I'm going to shut up. See y'all in a few days.